Hello and welcome to the Las Vegas Challenge. We have round 3 coverage from the Innova Factory Store course. You're watching the Disc Golf Pro Tour, stop number 1 on JomezPro. BigSexyBarri commentary right here with you. Nate Sexton, Jeremy Koling, and Paul Ulibarri.
And once again, heading into that Grip 6 low profile, we have a new face on tour, Ezra Aderhold, 26 under after the 1100 rated round 2, 16 under par. So excited to watch him play today. He is chased closely by the man, the myth, the legend, Paul McBeth. Calvin Heimburg, also right there, a couple shots back. He hasn't had a haircut in a while, and I kind of like it. And Eagle McMahon, 23 under, just one shot back of Calvin. And McBeth, he's looking for a hot start. Conditions on this day are a little breezier than round 2, but not quite as much as round 1. Should set up for some good lows.
Hole 1, par 3, 415 feet through a little bit of a gap. There's a big hyzer line as well, but it's a little risky. Not a lot out of bounds here. Just try to throw it out flat, finish to the basket.
I'm Ezra Aderhold. I'm 23. I'm from Aberdeen, South Dakota. I first started playing disc golf in like 2014, I think. It was like 6 years ago. Just saw some people playing in my hometown in South Dakota. Thought it looked fun, and then ended up going out with my brothers, and I think we used like some ultimate frisbees and maybe a frisbee, like an actual disc that we found. Just kind of started playing from there, got some more discs, played just around our house. We had like 6 acres, and so we just played like object golf, at trees and things like that. It wasn't too far into playing that I kind of had an idea that I could potentially go pro at some point. In 2016, I had kind of this dream growing up of being like a real estate mogul and just, being really successful, making a lot of money in that. My brother and I actually bought like 4 houses and fixed them up and flipped them, and kind of realized that maybe that wasn't the best thing for me, even if I had a bunch of money, I still had to do something with my time. So in the beginning of 2017 is when I decided to make that switch into disc golf and try to focus on becoming the best in the future. And I thought the best way to do that was to build a strong foundation for my game. And that's when I put a lot of time into just technique really for two years basically. And then in 2019, I entered my first tournament. I just jumped in my Toyota Prius, and that was my mode of transportation to go from tournament to tournament, and that was also my house and my kitchen and everything else, my storage. I slept in that thing and I cooked in that thing, and just played tournaments, every week basically until now.
Work for it. Do it, please. Keep doing it. Let's go, baby!
That's to the corner.
He's got to make the putt. He makes the putt. He makes the putt.
And this puts him into the mix.
Yeah.
It's so cool to be able to create content and connect with people in that way on social media and get to know people. It honestly kind of inspires me just hearing all the positive feedback, and it motivates me to want to play well. I think that's actually helped me in the last couple of seasons to try to elevate my game to the next level, just because I know people are pulling for me. My go-to shot is a hyzer release. That's kind of what I've developed as just my stock release. I think just, walking in the field for 2 years on the same angle has kind of honed that in. This is my second time playing the Las Vegas Challenge. Last year I was actually able to finish 13th, which I was really happy about. Definitely a solid start to that season. But this year I'm excited to be on lead card with a lead. Trying to just, keep pushing. I know that I'm gonna have to shoot really well for these final 2 days, and if I can just stay focused and play my game, I think I have a really good chance of getting it done. Taking this down would be a dream come true.
And there he is. I am really excited to see Ezra play. I really just haven't had the chance, and see how he attacks right here.
Just like he was talking about, going with that trusty hyzer release. This is hung out a bit too wide, though. I don't think he's going to have a really close putt on hole 1.
Probably about 50 feet.
See if McBeth can keep this drive a little bit tighter, make the correction.
Yeah, it's always nice kind of going second, so you can get a nice wind read off of whoever went in front of you, especially to start the round. and obviously other holes as well.
This looks perfect.
Yeah, that's great, and that'll reward McBeth with a probably 22-foot birdie putt.
That's exactly what you want. Throw it flat instead of hyzer, because then as it fades, it's just so gentle, not a big skip. Leaves that really close to the basket. Calvin looking also fantastic. This is even going to be better maybe. Hung it out a little wider.
Yeah, get that nice little late roll in there with the champ eagle.
Nice nestle.
Eagle is lining up that big hyzer play that we saw a few players throw in earlier tee times. It's definitely there.
Yeah, I had a couple people do it on my card and worked out great. You just kind of have to go inside of that big tree on the right, and then, I mean, it's a nice regulator of a power shot.
Yeah. And this is
not. Tree is the ultimate regulator. That has
no.
dropped down and gone across the cart path. That is OB early. A huge mistake for Eagle on this first hole. I wonder if that 13-mile-an-hour headwind had anything to do with that one just getting kind of swung out a bit wider than he'd normally like.
Wow, and I actually thought he was going to be OB quite a bit earlier even than that, so not the worst result. At least he was able to just jump putt his way up there for the bogey.
No, that was an eagle.
Really?
That was an eagle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is Ezra out on the right side, 45, 50 feet.
It's going to leave a little bit of a tester, as that, you know, it's the first time that Ezra's ever slept on that lead. And
Not a soccer player, huh?
okay,
There you go.
snuck it in there on the left side, but that is in, and that can help maybe boost a little bit of confidence.
There's just something so unnerving about having to putt twice in a row. It's just like, hey, buddy, get over here, hurry up. You know, and it's just not comfortable.
birdie.
That looked comfortable. Beautiful birdie
embarrassing.
putt. It is.
It
Honestly,
really is,
it is.
yeah. It's embarrassing. You're like, I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm wasting your time, my scorecard's time.
Yeah.
My scorecard's time.
It's valuable time.
Scorecard has places to go. Let's get this show on the
Yeah,
road.
it's in the negative direction.
Hopefully. Eagle makes bogey.
And Calvin and McBeth with nice birdies.
Hole 2, first par 4 of the day, 649 feet. This one is kind of up on this little spine, so we're going to see these guys really stretch their legs a little bit, go for big power off the tee pad. You'd like to see just a full flight with a distance driver, and it sets up kind of the spike hyzer of your choice, forehand or backhand, to try to get into this green. Nice of them to put that super tall flag there.
Yeah, that thing would be completely hidden if that flag weren't there. And we're going pretty much the same direction as we were in hole 1. So once again, we've got a headwind. And with this low ceiling tree here on the left, it just kind of forces you to drive a nice stable disc and try to get a little bit of turn like you see McBeth get here, and just try to get up there into that 500 sign, which Paul's done perfectly.
Wow, that's big.
That's kind of the Paul McBeth specialty shot, that low ceiling, just like a golf shot. That could have been in the woods and it would have flown the exact same. Calvin going with a swirly destroyer.
Oh, man. Pretty flip on that. This might even get past Paul.
He airs it past Paul. Yeah, that's a different type of distance.
That is so far.
You guys think that's going to be the winner right there? Or
I kind of feel like, from what I've heard about this fella right here,
I think we went in order from shortest to longest on the tee box.
Oh, wow.
Yikes.
whoa.
Yeah, that's a good smooth 560.
Yeah, a little off to the right, but who cares?
I think
it's
the
so far up the fairway.
The angle's not bad from over there, though.
No, not at all.
There's a lot of different pockets you can land in this fairway and kind of have a straight shot in, but you can also be in a lot of pockets where you can't even see the basket at all. So
the green is well guarded. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 trees within 20 feet of the basket, so that's really where the trickiness comes in on this hole.
oh, if this thing flattens out, yeah, that is just
Wow.
How you doing?
that's really
today?
far.
And that got back a little bit more left.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
like almost a jump putt.
Yep.
Just completely wide open from right there. Perfect angle control.
This is a tough little shot here with a right to left cross. He's going to need to get over that little... Yeah, looks like he did it, yeah.
Only issue could be he might have like a low ceiling putt. The backside of the green has that tree that can protect the basket.
Oh, sit.
Paul needs to slow down. That is going to be an almost unmakeable putt from 40 feet.
Yeah, if he's squared up behind that pine.
I don't know. I feel like we saw him do some Houdini action yesterday.
I don't even know why I say that, but I mean, it's going to be unmakeable for the likes of like 99% of the people at this tournament.
It's called building drama. Just call it unmakeable.
There's no way.
There is not.
Eagle
no
with a
human could hit that shot ever.
Eagle has a very makeable putt for birdie, though.
This little excuse for an upshot on a par 4.
Champ Rhino thrown to perfection from Calvin. Let's see if this man can pull some more magic out of his...
From this angle, it looks like he might be able to see a little something.
This is impossible.
That was hearted without that last branch. Low ceiling. Ezra's got a nice spin putt. Oh, yeah.
Why?
No! Absolute heartbreaker. Okay, in.
No way. No way.
That is one of the absolute worst ones ever. Ever.
The way it, no rotation, sitting on the rim, and then it looked like it fell in. Wow.
I mean, just as much as that putt on one for par could boost you up, something like that can just take all the wind out of your sail.
If I was that putter, I would do nothing to make that man mad at me.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to know your place. You're just a teeny little circle.
Ezra smash. Man, that is unfortunate break. Eagle and Calvin, nice birdies.
On to hole 3, par 3, 389. Just a little uphill at the green. This is a pretty simple shot. A big hyzer or even like a flat to stall if you want to throw a little slower disc. Nice to have that upslope, honestly, because the disc can come in and just kind of stick right where it hits. So I think these guys are going to feast on this hole.
Yeah, distance control really isn't a big thing right here. It's height. Like, if you get it too high, then you might get in trouble.
This is the type of hole that you'll see picked off with an ace every once in a while, just because it has no risk reward for going at it with a pretty high speed. And saw a couple shots in my group even skip up and like nearly ace, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of these guys
aced it.
Yeah, or at least comes really close.
Eagle goes pretty conservative here. Keeps it low. Going to play the running skip, but
Oh,
actually, wow, he didn't get even through those bushes. That's a disappointing result for him here.
These guys do make mistakes.
Not often.
It's looking very good.
Smack it.
And that's,
Wait a minute. What's happening?
Yeah.
I said they were going to feast on this hole.
This is the...
This guy looks hungry. Especially, let's see how he can bounce back from that horrible break. Looks a little
shot.
little inside as well.
I like
Needs to
it.
beat that.
I like it.
Monies.
Oh, yeah.
Beauty.
Okay, so the young gun's showing the old seasoned vets how to do it, and we're going to get a little fall flight action. There's that low hyzer screamer, like he's talking about. That's the angle he likes to throw.
How impressive is that, too? 2 years of practicing before you tried a tournament?
That's commitment.
That is commitment.
I mean, he's flipping houses at the early age in his early 20s. I mean, this guy sounds like he knows what he's trying to do in life.
Yeah, I think so, too. Wow.
How could you get that much pop and accuracy? Leaned out the opposite direction, right foot underneath the bush from 60 feet uphill.
Without throwing it.
He still hasn't even released it.
He just kind of like flicked his
Yeah,
two little fingers at it.
Oh, and Paul gets knocked
Roller,
down.
careful.
Wow. I think, I I don't know that this is something people think, but just from the coverage I've seen, I feel like Eagle is a man to be feared from the knee. Like when he is in those tricky spots and you think, oh, this might be a really tough putt, I feel like he almost gets better.
Totally agree.
Simon was that way for a while as well with that little nose-up spin putt. When he go down to a knee, and I actually felt like that increased his chances of making the putt.
I think it can make it feel like you can be a little more aggressive sometimes because it's like an uphill trajectory. You can really kind of like go nose up. I don't know, but Eagle has just shown some incredible skill from those awkward lies.
You just see all three of us tomorrow just putting from a knee from like
Wide
every
open
lie.
field. Yeah, I'll do it if you will.
And Ezra finally going to tap in his birdie. He's going to jump to the box going into hole 5.
Nice birdie, Ezra.
Or hole 4.
I'm sorry, hole 4, excuse me.
Hole 4, par 3, 309 feet. This one is a little bit tricky. You've got the golf green, but the real problem is this bunker that you see just now, and then the slope behind the green. So you really want to hit that little knoll and have your disc kind of get controlled by that hill. If you go long, you're probably not going to find a birdie from down there.
Oh, you didn't even talk about the trees that are behind the basket, because if you do play that safe shot and go long, and Ezra going to find the one safe spot between the green and the bunker. What a break that is.
Never thought of that.
But if you go long, there's actually 2 trees that have their ceiling is so low. There is not a ceiling.
That's you're being more specific, but that's kind of what I meant by if you go back there, you're not finding a birdie because it's just totally obstructed.
Yeah, I mean, and if you do have a look, it is scary.
Whoa.
Calvin tries to ace it. It's scary because you're putting back up at this, and you could go back in that bunker out of bounds again.
Yeah. I really like the little construction they did, though, with the retaining wall so that it's got that little bit of flat space under the basket. Cool little extra touch.
And this definitely feels like a very devilish green. I like this play from Eagle trying to skip and try to hit it on the hillside. Did it stick?
I don't think so. I saw the spotter's head whip around. I think he's going to be down right.
But that really is the only way that you can, come into this green with any speed and get it to stop, is to play that low skip that hits the hillside. Just hit the wrong side of the hill, and looks like he kept going down the backside.
Paul McBeth is one of the softest throwers with this line right here. I mean, this might look like it's going pretty far, but I think that's going to be, he kind of turned it over.
Yeah,
but
he's a bit short.
If you notice how his disc landed really soft, if that was directed at the basket, it would have, I don't think it had a problem with going too far.
No way.
Nice touch displayed there from Ezra. That'll be a easy drop-in par.
And this is a death putt right here.
He's really lining this one up. Wow.
I think he is. And does it sit? It doesn't look like it sat based on his reaction.
Sometimes you think, if I hit metal here, I'm good. But in this situation, metal here is bad. The only result that can work in that situation is if he makes it. I mean, that makes that 50-footer seem even smaller.
He was an inch from making it. I mean, I'll call it a make in my book.
Yeah.
In my confidence bank.
There's a little bit of that obstruction. Wasn't able to get clean.
And you can see what it looks like from back here. You can barely only see bits and pieces of the basket.
The Firebird has changed my life. I think that without the commitment shown to me from Innova to make this disc in 2015, I would never have made the leap to take my game to a level where I can call myself a US champion, a top 10 player in the world. In my mind, the Firebird is the greatest disc ever made.
I mean, that's a bold statement. That's a bold putt from Paul. There's a lot going on right there. It's good stuff.
Hole 5, par 3, 470. Big time par 3 here with the out of bounds golf green and a significant slope behind the basket. You also have the out of bounds property line on the right. So these guys are all going to go for it. They've got plenty of power, but can you get it over that green and slow it down before you go flying off that hill?
This is a hole where if there's any sort of headwind, it makes it that much more difficult, but I feel like you're right. This group especially should have no problem with clearing this.
I lost that one. I'm not sure where exactly that ended up.
Inbounds is good. Anything that's... If you can putt on this one, you've thrown a fantastic shot. This is the hardest hole on the course for good reason.
Half of the people in my group laid it up. Half of them went for it. 2 people on the green. So this is a pretty tough... This is playing pretty tough today.
And we are going into a headwind as well. So just like you were saying, Paul, makes it even more difficult. Calvin, that's a good angle, but there it goes down the hill. And I mean, that was such a beautiful looking shot 90% of the way. Now he's 85, 90 feet away from the basket.
With trees in the way.
There's a little like pine tree on the left of the tee pad that really cuts off the turnover angle that makes it a little bit more comfortable for you to hit an angle to carry this green. So this is a hyzer flip to late flip that you have to do. And when you have a headwind, it just doesn't work.
Extremely touchy.
Yeah, the
to
math
try to
doesn't
get that.
add up. Because you're going to want to take it from left to right and then drift right.
This one's looking promising.
This is looking really nice. Can it sit? No, and there it goes. It's just so cruel. It's such a difficult tee shot. Just like the last 2 holes. I mean, such a difference in distance, but yet they feel similar in how seldom they're birdied. Very, very difficult.
Look at what Eagle's got. Looks like got a pretty open hyzer line.
And that'll be fine.
It's still tough from there. I mean, Eagle has that super spinny release that, that's a throw for most people.
Yes.
And he made that look a little too easy. Like you see where Ezra is here. He doesn't have that option, and this is a scary shot.
Oh, that is a nice break.
Wow. Yeah, it is.
I really think that was going about 30 to 35 past the basket.
And you do not want that putt from where his upshot was heading. That would have been an incredibly scary putt for par.
Paul got a nice break here by hitting this tree. He might still be kind of in a makeable position. Oh, sit down. That's a little scary.
It's a weird angle. It looked like he kind of did a hyzer push putt, like from right to left there. It wasn't his normal stroke. I wonder if he had something kind of hanging in front of him or something like that.
Even that tree trunk might have been obstructing him a little bit.
This is the most or the least birdied hole on the entire complex. Only 3 people in the open field. Jordan Castro, Austin Hannum, and John Brian Willis. Played with him in the first round. That is a very tough birdie to get. Hats off to those guys.
Surprising that it's only that many. I played with Jordan. He threw a really nice shot to about 30 feet left and made a nice clutch putt. Hole 6, par 4, 770 feet. This one has OB down the left side and OB at way right, but also like a lot of really nasty trees over on the right, so you don't want to overturn it. You just want to go big distance, get over all those rocks and back into the golf grass, and then you've got a pretty doable approach shot to this cool looking green basket kind of perched up there underneath this pine. I think we might be in for a treat here. This ought to be a really big drive.
Yeah, even though Ezra's been a little bit shaky here and there, he had that really bad break, he's still holding a nice little lead here. So, very impressed with how he's holding things together, especially with these, stone cold killers on his card.
Yeah, and that was a crush. He's in a great spot to make birdie here.
You can just see, the front 9 in round 2 on the Innova course, there was just a ton of green all over the scorecard. And that's just not happening today in round 3. And it's just that the conditions, the direction that the wind is blowing makes these holes harder. It could be a windy day out here, but if it was blowing southeast instead of northeast, the course would be playing so different for just so many of these really important par 3s.
Right where the putter sits on my
Eagle, a
finger.
lot of hyzer out of the hand, starting to drift right now.
Ooh, is that turning too much?
I think
No.
it isn't. It's just
Yeah, it's fine.
smashed. because he didn't get back into the grass, but he's so far right. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the closest to the basket so far.
And it probably isn't going to happen in this group, but if you do get the nose angle a bit off, that left path actually does come into play. I've seen it happen multiple times.
And that was just a
Burned over. Yeah, you're totally right about the path, because you want to get ambitious, right? You want to get big distance, go way up there, and if you get the nose up a little too much and you try to go for too high of a turnover, you could find yourself sailing out of bounds.
Paul's going to have probably, this is like 380 maybe to the basket.
Yeah, that's a long way for standing still.
And he's done a pretty good job getting up to the edge of the circle. That's a good second shot from pretty much a standstill.
One thing I've noticed about Paul in this tournament especially is he's been putting himself at about 30 to 35 feet. That's pretty stressful to do over the duration of a tournament. So if he can get that a little bit closer, I think we might see some fiery scores out of him.
Yeah, you're totally right. Now that I think about it, he has had kind of a lot of those kind of 50-50 type putts. He's kind of making them look more like 80-20, but still.
Very well executed approaches from Ezra and Calvin.
That's a fire ray. I can throw him a little farther because he's 167. All the ones that were max weight.
And you were right about Eagle being the closest to the pin. Big drive, setting up just the mid-range approach, and that's going to be on the side of the basket, only 20 feet away.
Great display of touch from him there, from that lie and hyzer to flat to nice, and it only drifted up that hill about 4 to 5 feet.
Clutch.
Thank you.
Yeah, great putt there.
From the core, shake hands with the pole, go collect the disc from the basket, repeat.
I usually do the same thing you're talking about, Jerm, but I then miss the basket, then I repeat. Same, just one extra word, really.
Miss the putt, repeat.
Shake hands with the pole, airball, oops, repeat.
Slam dunkaroo, bogey, and we're on to the next one.
Shake my hands onto my hair as I pull it out. And we are going to have a very short putt here for the first star frame of the day for the group.
On to hole 7, another long par 3 at 453 feet. This one is sort of like a false front here. It drops down to the basket just a little bit, so you can't really see the ground play, but this is a hole where I think you want to play wide right and take a couple skips over to the basket, because if you come in too hot and you go left, you can see there's a lot of bushes waiting for you over there on that left side. Super wide here.
Yeah, that looks too wide and turned over. That's not it.
That's not it.
That one's just not it.
That palm tree area behind the basket, I'm sure you could find 800 golf balls. That place is thick and no one is going in there to look.
Maybe some coconuts.
Maybe. Calvin, is this high enough? Is it going to catch
Ooh, it's
edge?
got some turn.
And that's going to
Well, dang.
leave Calvin woefully short.
Disappointing.
I wonder this. So, for let's say you and me, Nathan.
Okay.
We have a power that we can go full power on this on a nice flat shot, and it's money. I think that these guys are in between discs, which is making that, obviously he makes the correction, but you see Calvin, that's not a shot you really see him mess up, but with the people with that much power, I'm guessing that there has to be an awkward distance.
Oh, I totally agree, especially if there was room for them to go spike hyzer, then that isn't true anymore, because then they can go full power and just moderate that by going super high. But I think when the line is constrained, you're absolutely right. It's going to be different for all different players, but certainly there's got to be some ranges where you're kind of, me and you, we don't got to worry about that kind of stuff.
Right.
I think Paul and Calvin going with their like high-speed fairway drivers, like those distance fairway drivers, kind of like the hybrid range, that is the right choice for these guys' arm speed. Calvin with the Thunderbird, I think McBeth went with the Undertaker, but I'm not sure about that. What do you have to say about that, team captain?
I don't know McBeth's bag that well, honestly. I know he has Undertakers, Forces,
Yep.
Onyx,
Thank you.
Nice birdie.
I know
and a really good birdie putt.
that he does have.
Putts with the
Luna,
thanks.
you got it, dude.
Somebody asked that in the comments. They were like, "Aren't you supposed to know exactly what he's throwing?" I'm like, "No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think he knows what I throw."
Eagle with a
There you
nice
go,
birdie
Eagle.
putt.
Thank you.
It's a nice looking backdrop. It just looks not like it's in the lower 48.
And that flag, if that were like the size of a normal golf flag, this would be the smallest basket on tour.
Yeah. Sure would.
That's a big flag.
Yeah. And if that was a flag that was to scale, man, that would really be a mind bender the size of that basket. I don't know what we would do. Moving on.
Oh gosh, thank you for salvaging that dumb comment. 2 birdies, 2 pars.
Come on, man.
We're on to hole 8.
Hole 8 is a par 3, 350 feet, and this is a new basket position a little bit farther to the right. I think they lost a tree or two on this hole. I think it maybe plays slightly easier. Open to suggestions, what you guys think there, but pretty simple forehand anyway, up high and then letting it fall over to the right. It is close to out of bounds. You could also throw a turnover mid-range.
Yeah, I think being as close to that path with that little hillside that kind of blocks shots, it forces you to try to drift over the hill and just slightly roll down to it. Eagle pushing the edge and just barely staying in bounds. I kind of like this placement. I think that, you know, with it being tucked behind, it makes it slightly challenging.
Yeah, I like it as well.
Here's Paul throwing his Luna for those out there who are wondering.
This is going really straight.
Way to go, Paul.
It's overstable, and he stays in bounds, but man, it didn't turn over like he thought.
You are green.
What's Ezra throwing here, Paul? I'm just kidding.
Really stally
Wow.
looking, kind of ultimate looking, great shot.
Yeah, that was nice.
Calvin going with a DX AVR X3. And I really like that. It's going to get that slide over the hill. No, not quite, actually. I thought it had the height, but the X3 just dropped.
Go.
There he is at that distance again, right? In 50 feet to about 33 feet. It's like he can't quite get it in the circle, it seems like.
Wow, he got that much roll?
There you go.
Buckets.
Just, wow, that was unlucky. Hit that tree and just jetted out of there, apparently.
Go for it.
Just like an annoying formality that he has to go and tap it out from 35 feet. This is a very awkward putt to be at the top of that hill in such a short distance to go. That extreme angle down is a very difficult thing. You don't really practice that, so it's kind of hard to know exactly what any sort of wind is going to do to your putt. Calvin is good.
Oh, no.
I don't know if I've ever seen Eagle not hit at least cage or up. He's so good at getting the height right.
Yeah, little misrelease there. Man.
That's unexpected.
Yeah, and that's going to bring Calvin to be tied for the lead right there. Definitely didn't expect that, but after watching Eagle miss, I wonder if that had something to do with it to where maybe he was thinking he had to hit it high because it was dropping or something. I don't know.
Isn't that annoying how other people's play can influence you? It's very difficult.
Just some slow scores. I mean, Calvin leading the bunch here at 4 under and a couple players at 3 under, and that's just something that was in the air, it seemed like, today with the way the course was playing. It just wasn't really it didn't feel shreddable for some reason. I don't know what it was. Did you guys feel the same way?
No, felt super shreddable.
I felt like it was the shreddiest course I've ever played. Did I shred? No, but I felt like if I were one of these guys.
Cool.
Hole 9, par 3, 367, and this one is off to the right side. This is not going to get enough skip, but you got to get over that little drainage area past. There you see the basket now. So it's a nice forehand. You can I also saw backhand hyzer working. Turnover, I think, could definitely work, but I don't really like it because some of those bushes are really, really brutal if you were to turn it a little too early. It's also extremely wide.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple times now with Eagles forehand.
And that's just not going to be doable from there. I feel like you got to go straight over that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just going to be pars for those two.
Completely guarded.
But that's an opening for this guy.
This could be
Push around the corner.
early.
This is really
Oh,
early.
no, it's good. I was
Should be
worried it was
fun.
going into that giant
Hmm?
bush, but
Should
I
be
think
fun.
he's okay.
I think it's
Wait till you get up there. I'm telling you, that is a non-makeable putt. He is going to be completely guarded by about a 12-foot wide palm, and not like yesterday at hole 11. He's not going to have any see-through action. That's just my guess.
Impossible.
I'm
what
gonna
you're gonna go
take
ahead and
the.
say.
Just not even in the remotely possible range.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. That is remotely possible.
I bet Paul makes
Have
it.
you seen my circle two putts today?
It wouldn't surprise me, but
Yeah,
it
they just
would
kinda
also really surprise me.
Land next to the basket.
I think he's like 8 feet or something, isn't he?
We're going to see soon enough.
You could be 8 feet and in that palm tree and not have a putt. It is that tough.
Does he have to go straight up and over?
Looks like it.
Boy, watch out for those fronds.
on the good side, though. Just go in.
An incredible effort for from that angle. He can't see Chain's basket. He can just see the flag and just hope that he gets the height right. And that was a very valiant effort.
We're gonna build a garage here soon.
And that looked good too.
Build a garage here
It's
soon.
definitely scaring the basket, though. I mean, those are
Build a 3-car garage.
fantastic bids.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Did you watch this before?
he's going back to the basket, Scooby, from 19 feet. I just don't.
Wow.
That's
Put that on the stats right there.
a tough bunker. I mean, to be within 20 feet and have to throw that shot, that's
This is
it's tough.
I mean, perhaps hyperbole, but this is a shocking par for him. Like, this is not
Sure.
that hard.
It's kind of a shocking front nine, to be
Got any
honest. I
words
mean,
of wisdom for the back
I
nine?
could understand these scores. They're all under par, and that's great. But, to the field, it
Thank you.
seems like 4 or 5 down seemed to be the running score that you wanted to shoot on the front to really feel like you're doing what you needed to do. And it hasn't really hurt Ezra to this point. I mean, he's now tied with Calvin, but he's still, he's not running away anymore. People are starting to catch up to him.
Yeah, I think kind of bringing a few names back into this tournament. You can see quite a few people within striking distance now on our UDISC leaderboard. Pretty good action. We're going to come right back. Thank you to the Founders Club. We've got the back 9 coming right up. A couple of really long holes, big 1,000-foot par 5s and stuff. So get right back. We will have back 9 of round 3 right away.